Hey everyone, this is Herc Magnus, and just a quick reminder, on the last video we talked about building schema and then assigning schema to your websites, as well as the duplicator for cloning schema from other people's websites. And that is going to relate highly to today's video, which we are going to talk about actually collecting ratings and reviews and then displaying them on your site, so that as users are leaving reviews, they will populate automatically, and the end result is you can get the Google stars in the search console. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the cdemusic.org website, and I'm going to show you how to use the plugin for Project Supremacy v3 to create a nice review widget and to be able to collect and display reviews so that you can get the stars. So let's head over into cdemusic.org website, and we'll show you how to use the widgets and the shortcodes and design a perfect review collection box. Okay, so here we are inside of the WordPress for cdemusic.org. So what I'm going to do is, you can see the Project Supremacy plugin right here. So what we're going to do is move over to the reviews tab, and so that I can show you how this all works. Now, one requirement in order for you to get any sort of stars in Google, you're going to need to make sure that you're using an aggregate rating in order to get those stars. So whether you're rating up a local business, or you're rating a product, or you're rating an article, it doesn't matter what you're rating, you need to have aggregate rating in place. So make sure to watch the training from v3.projectsupremacy.com/webinars to learn about aggregate rating and how to set that up the correct way. In yesterday's video, we did set up aggregate rating as well, so you'll also be able to watch that. So the first thing we're going to do is go into our Customize tab, and what you're going to see on the left is a bunch of tabs that allow you to design and change the functionality of how you collect and display reviews. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the Settings tab, and what you see here on the left is all your functionality for it and a bit of design. And then on the right in this palette, you will see a sample of what your review box will actually look like as you're changing things. So these buttons control a bit of different functionality with your reviews, and I'll explain each one of them individually. Using per page reviews, having that turned on or set to yes, means that a review submitted on a specific page on your website will only display on that page on your website. If you have this set to off, it doesn't matter where you collect the review or what URL you collect the review from, they can be displayed across your entire website. So a scenario for this is if you're reviewing a specific product, or you have a website where you're reviewing specific products or something like that, maybe an affiliate website or an e-com store, it's important to make sure the reviews for that particular product stay on that page. And what you can do is just turn this on. In a scenario where you might want it off would be if you have like a small local business website and you just want them to leave reviews about your business on any page, but where you display your reviews, it will display all the reviews. So that's the two different settings there. The natural reviews basically is a setting where it is asking you, do you want the stars in Google, the numbers? So for instance, 12 users left an average rating of 4.8. Do you want to supply those and have them be static? Or do you want people that are submitting reviews to actually populate those numbers for you? Now, you can supply your own review rating if you wish. You would do that inside the aggregate rating schema, or you can just let users actually auto-populate that for you. So typically, I always use per page reviews on. I also use natural reviews on because it's the most honest and transparent type of reviewing. Users will submit reviews, you'll display what they submit. The alpha widget mode basically will take all the design elements out of your review collection box and just kind of make it a transparent. And I'll actually show you an example of this later on when we add some colors and stuff like that. I'll show you what the alpha widget mode does, but you can also play around with that, make a design, turn on the alpha widget mode, and see how that design element is stripped away. We have auto approve reviews and ratings. So our system is set up automatically to put your reviews and your ratings into a queue so that you can view them and decide whether you want to actually apply that review or delete that review. So as reviews are coming in on the queue, you'll be able to access them from this reviews tab. You'll show them here, and then you'll be able to approve or deny reviews. But if you want things to happen automatically, you would set these to yes. Now, the difference between a review and a rating is a review is actually when someone leaves you a star rating plus an actual written review. Think of a review as something that's written, and then a rating is simply a stars only rating. So for instance, if I turn on the widget ratings mode, you can see the review portion is taken out, and you're only asking for them to give you a star rating instead of an actual written review. So the auto approve reviews will auto approve any written reviews. The auto approve ratings will auto approve any star ratings. So you can choose whether you want those to be auto approved or you want to put them into a queue for you to decide. The button pop-up mode will allow the review to turn into a button pop-up. So instead of actually seeing a box, you'll see a link that'll say leave us a review, and when they click on it, a button pops up on their page and then asks them to leave either a rating or a review. The exit pop-up mode will actually, when turned on, will actually wait for a user to try and leave your page, and when they do, that's when the button will pop up to ask for a rating or review. Preventing multiple reviews will allow, it'll disallow users to submit too many reviews within a single hour period. And then the widget ratings mode, of course, already is if you only want to collect star ratings. Now, these are global settings, meaning that no matter where you collect nor display reviews, they will adhere to these rules. Okay, so remember, this is global settings and behavior. However, you can assign different rule sets to individual reviews using shortcodes, which I'll cover a little later in this video. So next we have label rendering mode. So what we can do is, and I'll just make quick changes, you can see the labels are basically the label of the box. You can put them above, beside, or you can put them in as placeholders, which is really space efficient. Your content alignment, left, center, and right. You can see that changes the text in the box. Your widget theme, if you want, you can choose one of either the flat or the minimal theme, but you can also design your review box to do a lot of other things. And then the widget width can be either fixed or automatic. I typically recommend automatic because what it does is it supplies the maxed width within the container that it's on. So usually for reviews, you're using a lot of the widget, which I'll show you in a bit. And widgets can kind of be finicky because they usually are in the sidebar of a site. So you definitely want to have an auto width turned on there so it knows it automatically resizes to the best size within the container. These next are just basically size settings where you can change the size of the headings. You can see the leave a review as a heading, and I can make that bigger or smaller. And the rest of them are the same. It will control the padding and the field text sizes and stuff like that. So once you're done basically setting all your global settings, go ahead and click Save Changes, and we can move on to the next box, which is our fields. And what the fields are basically like this. We have a name field, we have a review field, but we have a bunch of other fields that you can add as well. So for instance, if you want to collect the user's email address, you can add that field. So I'm just going to add them all so you can see all the review or all the fields that we have available for you to collect. Okay. And then what you can do is if you want to change the order of things, you can just drag and drop the reviews. So for instance, I would put the rating on the very bottom, and I might do name, email address. So I'll put this one up, change these up to be however you want so that you can collect different information on a review. Now, you don't have to have all those, of course. So typically a lot of people don't want to leave a lot of information. And if you are using a lot of these boxes, you can either mark them as they must be filled out to submit a review, or it can be optional. And that's what this button is for. If you want to require the name, okay, and the review, you would just select the tick box, and then that makes everything else optional, but they must submit the name and the review in order for the review to be submitted. So the name, the location, and the review is typically what I go with, and then you can make all three of them required fields. So I'll click Save Changes for that. And next we can go to the placeholders. Now what the placeholders are is the text within the box, which is only really relevant if you have the label rendering mode set to placeholders, okay? If you have it above or next to, then placeholders aren't gonna really matter as much. So we'll select placeholders, and then we'll go to our placeholders tab, and we'll say we can change those. So by default, it's your name, your location, your review, but if you wanna change those, you can. Your full name, and you can see over on the editing side, it updates as I'm updating over here. So please leave your review here, and then your location. You can do something like, what city or town do you live in? So you can do something like that. And those are the placeholders. And it's just pretty simple. You just fill them in and save the changes. So in the design tab, this is where you can really start making your review collection box fit in with the theme and colors of your particular website. So what we'll start with is the heading and subheading, the text basically. All of this text that is showing on there, you can change that to say whatever you want. So please leave us a review. You can change the heading, and then you can change the subheading. You can change it to whatever you would like. We would really appreciate it, or something. I mean, you could be more creative than that. So just change, there we go. So you can, I'm just showing you how it works. And then your submit button to text, submit your review now. And then your thank you message basically is the message that pops up on this area after the review is submitted. So typically I like to say, if I have auto reviews turned off, I typically like to say, thanks for leaving your review. It will be moderated and approved if it's good, or something like that. I use a little bit better in language, but so that basically is the thank you message after the review is submitted. And in the case where no reviews are submitted yet, you can also leave that message. No reviews have been submitted yet. Please be the first. So you can say something like that to ask people to submit a review. And then here's where you can start changing colors. So your background, for instance, you can use this color palette, and then you can change, you can see how I've changed the background, and then the text and the border. So let's make the border a nice black. Okay, and then the button background, so basically the color of the button, we can make that say a yellow or a blue. Okay, so there you go. And then we'll make the button text a nice white, so it's contrasting. So as you can see, you really have a lot of options. The stars being yellow or orange typically. You really have a lot of options to make your review look quite good and blend in well with your site. So I'm going to just save those changes. Okay. And then, so this is the review collection box design and functionality. So the next part, basically, there's two elements that matter. One is collecting the reviews, and then the next one is displaying the reviews that you collected. So remember, you can collect reviews, which are written reviews, or you can collect ratings, which are star ratings only. So the next two tabs are how those are displayed. So you can go into the reviews, and you can see that this is how your reviews will display. So if you want to change them, you can say, heading, these are our reviews, or something like that, or you can just leave it blank and go with the default, which is 5 ratings from 13 reviews. Okay, and then your background, your border color, your text color, and your star color can all be configured as well again. So we'll just change the text or the star colors. Maybe we'll make those blue so they stand out a little bit more. Okay, so that's how your written reviews will look in this situation. And then we can go over to ratings, and it's the same thing. You can make it basically look however you want with your heading, your instruction text, basically asking people, this is your instruction test. If you ever get confused about what things are, of course, you can just type in the same word, heading, instructions, and then of course the thank you message is what they see after the fact, and the no ratings message is what they see when no ratings have been submitted. So you can change all those design functions in here as well, and your background colors and stuff like that are kind of the same as what you've chosen for your field, but I think we're going to add more options there so you can really customize this down individually. So once you have all that set up, go ahead and click on Save Changes. And now we're going to actually add the review collection box as well as the displayed reviews to our site. So you're going to have a couple options when it comes to displaying your review collection box as well as your reviews. You can use either widgets or you can use shortcodes. So first we're going to talk about our widgets. So what we're going to do is go into Appearance and we're going to go into our widgets in WordPress. And down here you can see there's two PSv3 widgets. So one is going to be the review collection widget and the other one is going to be the review display widget, and they will appear based on the design that we use. So I can put that in the sidebar. So what I'll do now is I'm going to save that, and then we're going to go take a look at the site one at a time as we start adding things. So let's go look at our site and see how it looks with the PSv3 review widget in the sidebar as a widget. So that's how we collect the reviews. So next we're going to display the reviews that are collected, even though that none are there. So we'll go back into our widget area of the site. So we're going to go to Appearance and Widgets, and this time we're going to put in the display widgets. Okay, so let me put that up in the underneath. So there you go. There's our display widget, and I'll go over the individual elements on as well. So let's refresh this page and see how our reviews display widget looks. So there you go. As I said, since there's no reviews, nothing is showing. So no reviews have been submitted yet. Please be the first. So let's go ahead and submit a review. So Herc Magnus from Edmonton. Think your services are excellent. Okay. And we'll give it a 5-star rating and we'll submit that review. And as that's processing, it will, once it's done, it'll display our thank you message for submitting. So thanks for leaving your review. It will be moderated and approved if it's good. Now you might want to use a little bit better language than that, of course. Now as reviews start coming in, where you can go to moderate your reviews is back in your website under the reviews tab. You'll actually be able to refresh this page and you can see it's loading the reviews right now. And the review that just came in will display here. So you can see Herc Magnus from Edmonton, what page it was displayed on, and then you can approve it, edit it, trash it, or clone it to different pages. So all we're going to do for now is approve it, and we will refresh this page. And now you can see there's our first review showing for the user. So that is the review collection box and the review display box in the widget fields. So let's go back and show you a couple different scenarios. So what we'll do first is we'll show you the different options for the widgets. So we're going to go back to Appearance and Widgets. So in your review widgets, you still have the options to override the global modes for your widgets by choosing alpha mode, pop-up mode, and widget ratings mode. So let me first show you what the alpha mode does. And those are the exact same options that you have in your global mode. So let me go back here and we'll compare them. So we have alpha mode, pop-up mode, and ratings mode, which is alpha mode, pop-up mode, okay, and ratings mode. So let's go ahead and turn this on for the widget so I can show you what to do. Remember, alpha mode is going to strip all the design out of it. So let's save that with alpha mode and refresh it to show you what it looks like. So there you go. You can see all the design elements have kind of been stripped out of there. So it just kind of borrows the design from your WordPress store, or your WordPress theme, I should say. This time we'll turn on the pop-up mode and show you how that looks. And this time you see it's basically stripped everything out and it just leaves you with a link. Please leave us a review. Now, if you click that, then it pops up the review collection box. So that's what the pop-up mode does. And now we'll do the widget ratings mode, which is going to strip out the review and ask for a rating only. So we'll save that. So there you go. This time, of course, I left just in heading and instructions. Now it strips out the written review part and it's asking only for a rating, just a stars rating mode. You can actually, if you have a site with a lot of pages and you want to use a different review collection or display method on a specific page, you would use shortcodes. But you would want to hide the widget on that particular page. So what you can do here is we have the ability to either hide or show the widget on selected pages. So for instance, if I wanted to hide it on our first page, I would only select the page that I want to hide it on. So I can go ahead and save that. And it does it for pages as well as posts. Okay, so let's hide that for our first page. and then we're going to go look at that page. You can see you're no longer able to submit the reviews, but we're still showing the review display box. So let's hide that on this page as well. So that was our review collection box, and this is our displaying box. So we're going to hide on our first page, and I'll save that. Okay, now it's completely gone. So we've hidden it from this page, but it will still show on other pages of the site. So where this comes in handy is in a scenario where you want this widget review and collection box and display box showing site-wide, but you want to hide it on a certain page. And maybe you want to display a different review box on that next page. So let me show you how to do that. So what we're going to do is work on the page that it's hidden on. So it's going to be our first page, okay, where we actually have the widget hidden in this example, but we're going to put a different type of review collection on this one. So let's go into the edit page, and we're going to go back to our reviews in V3. And this time we're going to use shortcodes. Okay, so what shortcodes are is basically the same functionality as widgets, but instead of putting it in the widget area, you can actually put it within the content on your page. So you still have all the same options, your alpha mode, your pop-up mode, your stars, ratings, only mode, and you just have to add these into your shortcode and either turn them off, which is a 0, or on, which is a 1. So what we'll do is we'll take this example shortcode and we're going to paste that into this page, okay? Our first page content, and then I'll put in the reviews. So we have the widget pop-up mode turned on, the stars only mode turned on, and the alpha mode turned on. So we're going to update this page, and then we're going to go visit that and see how it looks. And there you go. So we have the alpha mode on, the widget pop-up mode on, and the ratings mode on. So we are only going to get a rating. So let's change that up a little bit. Let's turn everything off. So we'll set these elements to 0. And we will click update. And once it updates, it will now be on a refreshed page, an actual review collection box. Okay, so and now we want to set up our display box on this page. We're going to use the other shortcode for the displaying of reviews. Okay, and once again, we have a couple of options, and I'll explain each of those individually, but let's grab the shortcode. I'm going to go to the edit page, and I'm going to pop in that box and click on update. Okay, and now we'll take another look. And no reviews have been submitted on this page yet, so we know the reviews are there. So let's go ahead and fill in another review. This time I'm going to be Bob Higgins, and we live in Florida, and thanks for your service. Okay, and we'll submit that review. And remember, this one doesn't have any reviews because we have per page reviews turned on, meaning the review is only going to stick to the page that it is submitted on. So now it's submitted. We're going to go over to our reviews and approve that second review. And there we go. There's Bob Higgins' review. You can see it's not approved yet because it's in red. So what we're going to do is approve that review. And you can see the pages that these are on. This first one is on the global review page, and this one is on our first page. So now that is approved, we can go back to this page, refresh it. Okay, and now you can see there's our review collection box. And here is our review display box where we're actually displaying the reviews. So let's show you the options that exist within the shortcodes. So let me close this page and go back to our shortcodes. You can see we have the aggregate rating mode, which basically this is going to show the average rating or reviews left. That's this right here, this little piece, so that it can show people the overall ratings that have been received based on everything. So if that is turned off, this highlighted part will actually disappear. Usually we want to leave that on. Random reviews, limit reviews, and limit reviews number. These three options basically help you control space on your blog. So let's say we had 50 people leave a review, okay? What we can do is limit the number of reviews that show. So we would turn limit reviews to on, and then we just basically only show a certain number of reviews, and that would be this short code, limit reviews number equals 5. So if we had 50 reviews, but we wanted to limit it to only show maybe 5, we would have this number set to 5. If you want to show 10, you set it to 10, etc. But because we have 50 reviews and we're only going to show 5, we don't want the same reviews showing all the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the random reviews. We'll set that to 1, and each time the page loads in this particular setting, it will grab 5 random of the 50 reviews submitted and display those. So those are all your shortcode options for displaying your reviews, and that's how it looks on your website. So the last thing that I want to show you is a scenario where you do want to collect reviews site-wide, meaning no matter where people are submitting reviews, you want to display them on a specific page rather than display them every time on the same page. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our widgets, and we're going to remove the display reviews from widgets, so that we're not displaying reviews on every sidebar, and we're going to just display them on a single page. So what we'll do is delete that from the widgets area, and we're only going to have the review collection box. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our other pages, and we're going to remove the shortcodes from the page that we are displaying reviews on. Okay, so we're going to take that out of there, so that page is only displaying a review collection box. So let's go look at that page now without the reviews on it. So there you go. On our first page, we're collecting reviews here, but not in the widget. But on our home page, we have it in the sidebar, but we're not showing any reviews. So what you can do is actually create a page called reviews or something like that, where we can see it here. Okay, and what we're going to do on this particular page, we're going to hide the review collection box, but we're going to display all the reviews site-wide. So what we'll do is go to edit. We're going to go back to our widgets, and we're going to hide it on the reviews page. So we'll go to appearance widgets, and then the PS review widget. We're also going to hide it on the reviews page. Okay, and let's actually no longer hide it on our first page. We're going to save that. So now it's only hidden on the reviews page, but not on our first page. It's now showing there and there, which of course you wouldn't ever want to do that. But now we have to worry about displaying the reviews. So for this page, we're going to actually take all our reviews, okay, and we're going to display it. Okay, so we're going to update this page, and then we're going to go look at this page now. And you're going to notice there's going to be no reviews, right? That's because right now we have people submitting reviews on pages, but we also have the per page reviews turned on, saying no, those reviews should only display on the pages they were submitted. But now we want to change that. We want to collect reviews all over our blog, but we only want to display them on a reviews page. So what we're going to go do, we'll go back to customization, and we're actually going to turn off per page reviews this time. Okay, and we're going to save our changes. And now we're going to go to our reviews page, and we're going to refresh this page, and you'll see that the 2 reviews that were submitted on different pages are now showing on the reviews page. So that's all the options you have. You can see it's quite a few options. It's very, very flexible, and it will allow you to do things in the exact way that you want to do them, as well as make it look really, really good on your blog. So hopefully you guys like this video, and as always, we love your comments, we love your questions. Please leave them in the comment and question area below, and we'll do our best to answer them, and we'll see you on the next video, which is going to be very, very exciting. It's all going to be about our project planner tool, which is a very, very unique tool that only Project Supremacy has on the market, and it's going to help you optimize your sites on a single dashboard within your plugin. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.